I'm talking about in it. I ain't gonna lie. This is so awk. There is a young woman cleaning the bathrooms right here. I hate recording in public. This is literally top fear number three, bro. Being perceived recording in public is top three bottom experiences or bottom three experiences for me. Top three bottom experience. Nigga, what are you talking about? Um, but yeah, man. Y'all see the fountain though? That was tough. That's why I'm gonna have y'all shorty. I think cheating low key changed me for the better, but not in the way you think, right? Um, Today I'm basically just gonna talk about ego deaths. Uh, I think low key the word ego death got corny when TikTok and everybody started using it, but I'm just about to explain my experience with one. To me, an ego death is when you almost crush all the beliefs about yourself and you have to kind of reform them. But anyone who knows me knows that in my last relationship, I cheated. If you don't know that, you do now. I have an episode on my podcast called I Cheated Part 1, and then Part 2, which is where I got my roommate on, and he spoke about his experience with it as well. You should go tune in if you haven't. I think it's really insightful. It kind of gives you a back door into kind of a cheater's thoughts or whatever, I guess it was. I kind of want to do another one low key because I'm older now and I can kind of break it down even better now. But let me get straight into the story. So I'm gonna skip to the meat. So I'm gonna just tell y'all kind of like the little nooks and crannies and whatnot and shit. So basically, we had got together, and then I had cheated multiple times, by the way. Then we broke up, and after we broke up, I was like, okay, bro, I have to go to therapy because I gotta get this shit figured out. Because it was OD, it was definitely OD. I was OD for real. And then during that time where I was in therapy or whatever, we were still in contact, and we had then got back together. And after we got back together, we ended up breaking up again. And when we broke up for that last time, it was kind of messy, low key. Like it wasn't even because I had cheated or anything else like that. It was just from the fallout of me cheating the first time. You know what I'm saying? It just nothing was the same. You know what I'm saying? Why do I keep saying you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But no, it was just from the fallout. So then was having a conversation or something like that, blah blah, and she had basically called me a lying, cheating, gaslighting, narcissistic, and manipulative person. And honestly, looking back, hindsight is 2020. She definitely was not wrong. I will not lie in that statement, but we're gonna get to that part. That's the ego death part of it. You know, me being able to accept that now. So to go back to therapy, I think when I was in therapy, I I learned my triggers. I learned like what bothered me and how to handle situations better and how to communicate better. And I also learned how to take accountability, but only to a certain point. I don't think I got all the way down into being able to like really understand and see it from a another perspective of how bad that I legitimately hurt somebody, right? I don't think I ever actually like accepted the fact of knowing what I was. Like, yes, I did the work and I knew how to identify like my triggers, this, that, and the third, but it hadn't fully clicked with me yet. So fast forward, basically for the next 2 months, I'm in this limbo, this in and out limbo of like, okay, like, are those things true about me? Nah, those things aren't true. And I would wallow in my own self pity of feeling like a gaslight narcissistic, blah blah blah, this that and the third, without actually ever fully accepting it. But then there was this one night, and I was just wallowing. I was sitting in my own fucking self pity, feeling guilty and everything else. And I kind of took everything and I put it out on a timeline. And I didn't focus on the who or the when, but I focused on the what. The what I did in general, right? We can all admit cheating is the most brain dead shit that I think you could possibly do. Um, there's not many excuses for it at all. Like it literally is just a lapse of judgment in your character. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to identify with it, but hey, if you cheated, nigga, hey, you fucked up. Um, and I knew that. So that night, I saw everything on a timeline, and I saw all the times I had lied, that I had cheated, that I manipulated her, that I gaslighted her, and that I was just being selfish, that narcissistic part of it. So those past few months when I was, struggling to really understand that part of myself that kind of felt like that statement was true, in that moment, it kind of all hit at once because I wasn't sitting in my own head like, oh, well, that's not me. That isn't true. She's just saying that for the fuck of it. Hell no. It was true. It was a true statement. And I battled with that for so long because as much as I didn't want to identify myself with that, that's what I was. So once I kind of put it all out on the timeline, I was like, fuck. Like it literally hit me all at once. It was like a damn brain blast, bro. Y'all ever seen Jimmy Neutron, bro? I was like, brain blast, nigga. That shit hit me all at once. I was like, nigga, you were a shitty boyfriend slash person at that time, bro. There was just this deep other corner of my mind that I had never had access to that suddenly was opening. I could just see everything from a different perspective, right? So the way that I like to explain it to people is that in that moment, I stopped identifying with the beliefs of myself, right? So I knew that I had cheated or whatever, but what I didn't believe about myself is that I was a cheater, that I was a liar, that I was a narcissist, that I was manipulative, that I was a gaslighter. So then, in that moment where I had that realization, it all hit, and it basically, I didn't, silence my own ego. My ego silenced itself because it had no choice because she put up a mirror to me, and when I look back, hindsight is 2020, like they say. The way that I like to think of it, it's almost like when you go to a museum or you see a painting, and the paintings where it's like you look at one side of it, and it's one picture, and then when you shift the perspective, it kind of changes slowly, and then you look at the other side, and it's a completely different picture. That's how it was. Um, my beliefs about myself weren't wrong, but they also weren't the whole truth. They weren't the whole picture. You know what I'm saying? I was seeing my picture, but I wasn't able to step back and step to the other side and see her picture of it. Excuse me. So then in that moment, that's what I did. And what that did for me was it allowed me to kind of see every other perspective. Like from that moment on out, bro, I have literally bro, I cannot talk today. I have literally been told that I have been too open-minded. But that is what opened my mind to it, bro. Because when I look back at it, I was like, damn, like I was a really shitty person, or I wasn't the best of boyfriends. And in those moments where I was bullshitting, I wasn't allowing myself to see the problems and the issues from another perspective that was outside of myself, that was outside of my ego. So when my ego got crushed, it was suddenly like I had no choice but to see it from another perspective. So with that came me kind of always stepping back. Like, so now when I have a problem, I can, completely step back and detach from myself and be like, okay, what is the issue here? You know what I'm saying? Not my belief of the issue, but what is the key and primary issue here? Um, but yeah, that's really all I got. That's really all there is to it. Uh, you don't have to have psychedelics to have an ego death. Sometimes shit, nigga, you just need a little trauma, a little hard experience that you got to get through. You know what I'm saying? Nothing too crazy. But yeah, man, that's all there is to it. It's crazy looking back at it now, cause I really wish I could go back and change the shit. Cause I'm like, wow, nigga, you was tweaking out. There was so many better solutions, but I can't. So for anyone that has cheated and that genuinely feels bad for it, bro, don't wallow in your own self pity and your own guilt, bro. Give yourself grace. If you really want to change and be different and not be seen as that, then you have to give yourself grace and then actually become something different. That's the hard part. Giving yourself grace is hard, but then you have to actively make that conscious decision to be like, no, this is not who I want to be anymore, and completely change that. But like I said earlier in the episode, bro, if you want the tea on that, you know what I'm saying? I cheated part one. But that's pretty much all I got today. Hope y'all enjoyed that. I definitely enjoyed talking about it, bro. That was something that I needed to get off my chest. I feel so much lighter now. Um, but yeah, don't be out there forcing yourself to have an ego death, but just keep an open mind, an open heart, and always remember that there is more than your perspective to a story. Sometimes you just got to step in someone else's shoes. But I'm gonna fuck with y'all. I hope y'all fuck with me. That shit tough as hell. That shit tough to bitch, right? All right, I'm fuck with y'all.